Hi, this is Dr. Darnise, and I'm coming to you with another segment of Consider This, and I'm asking you to consider the word cult and what exactly is a cult. It's a word we use frequently and freely, particularly to describe religions that are different relative to the society, something that seems strange, something that seems to be hurting people. I mean, we have those kind of movements that we find out people have been molested or held against their will. And so we use the term cult to talk about religions that basically we're saying, I'm going to be honest about it, we're really saying that their religion isn't really a real religion. We're saying that it's something else and that there's something suspect about it. So what I want to do is offer you another definition about what a cult is, actually, in terms of the way religion scholars use the term and understand the term. A cult really is a new religion. A cult just is a new religion. So in the study of religion, then, as scholars, we talk about new religious movements now. We use the term new religious movement because the word cult has so much negative baggage associated with it that it's hard for a new religion to kind of have its own space to be what it is, as opposed to having to carry this baggage of the word cult, and then there are all these negative associations immediately, placed upon it. But there are new religious movements that are not doing anybody any harm, but they're trying to find their space in the world too, which they have a right to do, at least here in America, where we have freedom of religion to create a new religion on the spot. So as scholars, then we use the term new religious movement, but of course in most of the general public, people still use the word cult, and by that they mean illegitimate religion. Something's wrong with that group, something's really different. But getting back to what the real term is, new religion. Is something wrong with a religion just because it's new? Does it have to have a long established history in order for it to be true and real? Consider this. Once upon a time, Christianity was a cult. Yes. Once upon a time, Christianity was a new religion. Once upon a time, Christianity had a high degree of social tension with its environment. And what I mean by high degree of social tension is that the community in which those people found themselves, those early Jesus followers found themselves, did not really recognize them or consider them to be normal. To the larger Roman society, the Christians seemed very bizarre because they were still worshiping this man who everybody's seen had gotten crucified. He was dead, and they're talking about he got up and rose again and had some sort of power. That seems strange. That seems strange. Christians also started having this tradition or this ritual of their Last Supper, sharing the body and the blood. So the Romans said, they're cannibals. There's something wrong with those people. And so we know from history that Christians were thrown to the lions, they were imprisoned, they were martyred. Why? Because they were a cult. They were new and they seemed to be illegitimate, a high degree of social tension. There's not very much understanding about what these new Christians were about. So fast forward to today, who are the people who bear the term cult in our society? There are religions today that, at least in American society, we call a cult, like the Mormons. Some people will say, well, the Mormons are a cult. They're not a real religion. They say that their founder, Joseph Smith, had a revelation and that there are these golden plates that were found under the ground, and, well, that sounds really ridiculous and strange. Well, it might sound ridiculous and strange. And yes, it's a new religion. But do those things by themselves mean that it's not true? Should they bear the label of cult in that negative way? Are they hurting people? Any more so than any other religion, I guess I should say. They have their way of seeing their perspective, and they have their doctrine, just like any other religion, and they want people to follow their doctrine, and if you don't, then they have their ways of excluding members. So I'm just asking you to think about cult, and kind of be cognizant, be aware of how we use the word. Because once upon a time, the religion that is the dominant religion of our time, of the Western, in the Western world, was indeed a cult. It was considered new. Once there was a break from Judaism and it was standing on its own, it was a cult. So today when we call somebody a cult and we say, oh, the Scientologists are a cult, or the Mormons are a cult, or the Jehovah's Witnesses are a cult because they have strange practices, really, what does that mean? And what are we saying about it? It really just is us saying, I don't understand that religion. It may be you don't understand it. So I'm going to wrap this up here. And again, ask you for your comments below. What do you think about this topic of a cult? And I'll be back with another episode soon. Take care.